What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Dipped in Tone. I'm Rhett.
I'm Zach.
How was that for timing?
That was good.
Perfect.
That was
Addison,
good.
you think the recording caught that?
Probably. I hope so. Well, not the Kyle part.
Yeah, the Kyle part. I mean, my clock showed 1 second before I got out of that. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. You're never going to know what we're talking about. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Another episode. Zach, what's up?
Oh, man. Just navigating the waters of life, man. You know, I'm just trying to keep my head on a swivel, man, you know.
Navigating the waters is a good pun for navigating the tariffs of all the stuff that's coming across the water right now for your business.
Yeah, no, it's been exciting to say the least. But yeah, we're just trying to figure out what we have to do to make sure that we ultimately can keep everybody paid the same because, you know, it's about taking care of the team, and now the team has grown. So I guess by the time this comes out, he will probably be here. Young Will, I stole another employee from another business. He worked at Gibson. And he's coming to work for us, and he's basically going to be our gopher. Go for this, go for that, helping me with everything, learning from the guys on basically how to just fill in all the gaps. So
nice.
Really exciting.
Addison, what's new with you?
We went to Missouri last week, which sounds boring to some people, but let me tell you guys, Southern Missouri is gorgeous. It's like Northern Arkansas, if you've been to Arkansas. It's amazing.
Well,
anybody? No?
Geographic. I've been to Bentonville six
yeah.
times.
Okay.
So I've been all over Northwest Arkansas. And you're right. Southern Missouri, Northern Arkansas, which geographically is basically the same thing. Just an imaginary line drawn between them, is beautiful. Ozarks.
Yep. So we spent a couple days there with some friends from Kansas City. That was fun. And then just back to the old grind, man. Got a bunch of stuff knocked off my list today. I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be here. That's my week.
Hell yeah.
How about you, Rhett?
I've been making a lot of Palomas recently.
Is that a horse?
No.
What's a Paloma?
It's a cocktail. Actually, Paloma is a great cocktail to start with if you are learning. If you want to get into making cocktails, it's super easy and it's kind of hard to screw up, which is great. It's basically tequila, grapefruit juice, lime juice, agave syrup, a little dash of salt, and then top it with soda water, and it's great. Tele was at a bike race last week in California and came home, and her and all her friends that she shoots those races with were out on like a Paloma kick. And so
I was thinking of a Palomino.
It's a horse?
That's a horse.
Like a breed or a name of a horse?
A breed, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Have you guys heard the song Paloma by Angelica Garcia?
I haven't, but I imagine it's about the drink. Or maybe the drink's named after the song.
Or after a horse.
And there we go. Okay. Okay, so today we're doing, I guess, a whole rig dip episode, right? Because we got a backlog of rigs to dip. So first of all, thank you to all the patrons who have submitted their rigs to us over the months. We read each one of them. So we've got a couple of resubmissions. People have changed their rigs up. Things are a little bit different. And if you would like to submit your rig to be dipped in a future episode of Dipped in Tone, sign up for our Patreon. Link is down below. There's one tier. You get to watch the episodes live while we're recording them, and you get access to the bonus episode, which is after each episode, and you can submit things like your rig to be dipped.
That's right. So get in there.
Get in there.
But before we get to
first?
all that,
yeah.
Addison, do you have a hot take for us?
I sure have a hot take. So this one's not gear related. I went through some of the comments. This is from YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not. I have some other ones from YouTube for another episode. This is from Gmail. Michael Delving sends us this hot take. He says, working class artists are almost completely absent from the music industry and independent scenes. Successful independent artistry depends upon you being middle class or above in the vast majority of cases. Music is for the socially connected and those who can mentally and financially afford a fallback plan. I thought this was a really interesting conversation topic.
I think he's 100% correct.
I need to read that question.
Well, it's less of a question. It's like basically saying to do music now, you have to be rich or well connected. And I think that's true. I've talked to some friends of mine about this, like, and that's changed even since, I've been playing music full time since 2011. And I would say from 2011 up until the pandemic, at least in Atlanta and Nashville where I was working, like you could totally do the working class player thing, right? Where you made enough from your gigs, your hodgepodge of different gigs, to be able to like pay your bills each month and buy whatever gear you needed necessary. You weren't getting rich by any means, but you were making ends meet. And I think that's gotten much more difficult after the pandemic, and I think it's getting harder and harder now. And I think this gets into a whole other economic conversation. But yeah, I think 100% correct.
But I mean, like, have the working class artists, the people that just gig on, I mean, like, what defines a working class artist?
I mean, like a hired gun, someone who makes a living or most of their living from playing gigs, whether it's wedding gigs, a touring gig, teaching, a combination therein, because that's realistically what most people do. And a perfect example, here in Atlanta, there's a really well-known, established corporate wedding band. I'm not going to name them. And they're based in a few cities. And I have a lot of friends who have played or still do play with this organization. So it's like, on any given Saturday, this group will have 10 bands out across Georgia playing weddings and corporate events, all that kind of stuff. So it's a business, basically. I know someone who played for this business 25 years ago, 1999, 2000, 2001. They've made the same amount of money, $375 per wedding in the year 2000, as they make now on the same gig 25 years later. That's the problem. And it's not just in the music industry. I mean, this is like economics, especially in this country. Wages have not increased at the rate of inflation and cost of living. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know enough working class musicians to have much of a comment on this.
Well, you live in Nashville. I mean, you know a lot of people that.
I mean, I know like all the professional like hired guns. I know like
but that's working class though. I would say.
Right, but those guys. I mean, he has a career in this because he's well established and a guy. But like I know a few other people, but not very many. I mean, even though I'm in this town, I don't like. Ever since all this stuff kind of took off, I haven't had the time to go like shake hands and meet people and be part of it because I don't have the time, So,
Addison, what do you think? Because you do a lot of mixing and stuff outside of the podcast. Like, what do you see?
A lot of the people I have met so far being here in Nashville, I notice when they're not on the road, they're doing other things. So I don't know if that was your experience, Rhett, if you had kind of always, other streams of income, so to speak, or at least, one or two things you kept in your back pocket when you were on the road. But I don't feel like I'm thinking of like middle class musicians. Like I would classify Guthrie Trapp as like kind of upper class, probably even more so, just because of how long he's been doing this and how good he is. I'm thinking about the guys that are going out with bands that are playing like small clubs, 1,000 cap venues, things like that are fairly small. I don't know that it's possible to make a living just doing that. Like when you're home, I feel like the guys I meet and encounter, they're always doing something. If they might be producing, they might be driving, for Uber. They might have some other, like I saw one dude touring out. He's a drummer. He was out with a big band, but he was like running merch around and he does tracks when he's at home and stuff like that. Now, some of these people I think are just generally motivated and they work really hard. But I think it's probably getting harder and harder to be that kind of a musician, especially like a road warrior or a weekend warrior. Even like that's a term, right? Where, you leave Thursday night, you go play 3 dates and you're back, Sunday late night or Monday morning. Like that's a common thing in Nashville. And so, I see it being harder and harder for people to provide for their families, especially on one income. Maybe, you've got a wife and kids and you want your wife to stay at home or vice versa. Maybe your husband stays at home and your wife's out on the road or something like that. Like, I just see it harder and harder for people to, have 1 or 2 kids and be able to play music and provide for their families. Like, just seems to be a challenge.
I think it comes from the top. You know, I think it's realistically boils down to Spotify and to Ticketmaster Live Nation. These two monopolies that essentially own the entire music industry, at least in the United States. Like, there's just no money in music anymore, except for the very, very, very few who make it to pop success and stardom. And that's a little bit of a generalization. I mean, we all know people right now who are like hustling, touring artists that do really well and are able to provide for themselves. But I can count the number of people, like maybe on one hand, that we all know that do well. And they do it from mostly merch. Ticket sales are a part of that. But the thing is, like, Live Nation and Ticketmaster, there's a few amazing videos that you should go watch on this if you're not super educated on it. It is that company, Ticketmaster, needs to be broken up and dissolved. It's a total monopoly. Live Nation is a subsidiary part of Ticketmaster. I mean, we all have experienced this. When's the last time you went to go buy tickets to a concert and it's like one price and then you get to check out and then there's an added fee of like 35% or something crazy. And that money doesn't go to the artist. It doesn't go to the venue. It doesn't go to anyone other than Ticketmaster directly. And they do it because they're the only game in town. And what are you going to do? You're either going to pay the fee or you're not going to go to the show. And then on Spotify, like, Spotify has successfully convinced people that they should have access to the entire library of all music that has ever been recorded for whatever it is, $12 a month, $15 a month, $20 a month. And you just essentially extracted all the money out of the music industry for everyone, not just players, but for artists, producers, engineers, studio owners, venue owners, tour bus drivers, techs. Like, it's completely decimated the industry. And you're right. Like, even people that do really well and have big followings have to do other stuff, whether it be social media or teaching or video courses or driving Uber or whatever. It's like you have to just sort of patchwork all this stuff together.
Ultimately, artists just want to be artists and make music. They still want to have the ability and platform to be able to create. And I agree with you. I think the streaming platforms are largely, I mean, they've completely devalued, if we just call it art for a second, because that's what it is, people being creative. There is a machine to it too. You know, music licensing can be some of that machine. Maybe just like churning out pop songs can be a machine because people are really good at it. But there are still true artists that they just want to be artists and they can't because they can't afford to.
And this is why it favors the
right,
rich and wealthy and well-connected. Yeah. Because to be successful at art, music, musicianship, whatever, you have to devote more than a full-time job's worth of time to do it. You just have to. To do anything. I mean, you're really as an artist or a musician, you are an entrepreneur. You are your own business. And any business takes so much time and energy to build. And if you don't have that time because you're having to work 2 jobs to make ends meet, then of course you're not going to have a shot at success in the music industry because you don't have the time or the energy to invest in it, to hone your skills at your instrument, to develop your sound, to do all the admin work. Just the admin work alone that it takes to be an artist is like a full-time job. And when you're independent and you're just starting out and you don't have a label and teams of people to do that stuff for you, like, you have to do it yourself. And if you don't have the time to do it, you're just not going to do it.
And then how are you going to get better? How are you going to reach more people? How are you going to improve as an artist, as a songwriter, as a guitar player? You know, it's really challenging to do.
Sweet. There you go. Bummer.
Let's have fun and dip rigs.
Oh, man.
It's a real conversation, dude. It's real life.
It is.
Okay. Add some brevity here. We're going to dive into some good-looking rigs. We're going to stare at some rigs. The first one we got, and get this loaded, is from Steven B.
Ooh.
Boom. All right. So, Steven, he wrote everything in a paragraph. We've got his DGT PRS,
Nice.
full fat DGT. That's a core model. And then a Custom Shop 61 Tele, a 2-rock, it looks like
Vintage Deluxe.
that's a vintage deluxe.
Yep.
With he doesn't say
310s?
what cabinet. I don't yeah, that might be the 310.
Because I can see the two like speaker cones on the bottom.
yeah,
Looks
you
like
can see the kind of
Yeah.
the shine there. And then on the pedal board, I'm not going to look at his email here. We've got the Polytune, the Golden Fleece, that's that boost. What is
Zeo.
that?
Yeah.
The Zeo, the Lightspeed, a Vimaram, I think that's the Shanks, the 1N34A Mythos Mjolnir, HX1, Cloudburst, the Mini Carbon Copy,
Nice.
the Benson delay,
Yeah.
a little foot switch probably for the amp, and then a GS3 Atom from GigReg.
Cool.
And so, yeah, this is a mighty fine rig here. He says that he plays a wide range of stuff in a cover band from 60s to early 2000s, everything from Tom Petty, Fleetwood Mac, blues, Sheryl Crow, all that stuff, you know.
This is a rig that fits the bill perfectly for that stuff. Guitar wise, I like the DGT.
Yeah.
It's probably my, just in terms of like normal PRS models, it's probably the one I like the best in the gold top. The gold that PRS does is really nice.
Yeah.
It's like a really, really metallic, shiny gold top. That's cool. The Tele, the one guitar to do it all, really. I mean, arguably the DGT is as well, but I think it's a really nice combination there. I don't know. You're a PRS guy. Is there anything you would change there?
I love the DGT. I think, honestly, it's probably, for the core line, the most versatile and approachable guitar. Maybe outside the Silver Sky. I think the Silver Sky is like, I mean... I don't know.
But let's be honest. That's not really a PRS. Like when someone talks about PRS, they're not thinking the Silver Sky doesn't like. To me, the core line is the custom 22, 24, the CE line, the McCarty, and the DGT.
Yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, I do think the Silver Sky has its own thing, but it is, ultimately an S type. But yeah, I love the DGT. I think it's the only thing that I'm not crazy about, just because I'm such an old school purist, is the fact that volume knob closest to the bridge pickup is the bridge volume. So every time I go to use that as the neck volume, it's not there. It's the second knob. But that's whatever.
I never thought about that, but that makes sense to me. That's intuitive. Just because it's close to that, and normally, at least in my experience, I feel like I'm using the bridge volume control the most.
Yeah. For me, I would probably rather have it just have a volume tone.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Because sometimes on a Les Paul, I'll go between different volumes for the neck and bridge, but not very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hard to knock these guitars. They cover a lot of ground sonically.
Amp wise, I mean, come on. It's a
great.
two-rock. Like, the Vintage Deluxe is great too, man. We played one at your shop on that Les Paul mod video that we did.
Yeah.
And it sounds sick. That may be my next two-rock whenever that happens. Because it does a very different thing than the classic reverb.
Yeah, totally. So it's basically Eli's love note to classic California-made amplifiers. But the black panel sounds great. It's got a tweed sound that's awesome. The 310 is a very unique cabinet sound. I have a 310 two-rock cab. Mine's the 1x15. Honestly, for me, I probably would prefer it to have a 2x12 cabinet. For all around general tone, I think if you're mostly a single coil player, the 310 or the 115 are great. But for humbuckers, I feel like it doesn't do the thing that I want an amp to do. But it's a great sound.
Jared in the Patreon chat's asking, what speaker cab do I have with my two-rock? I have the vertical 212, which, man, we talk about the amps a lot. Those cabs are fantastic.
Yeah.
Just the build quality of them, but the way they sound, they're so good. I end up using that two-rock cab because it's a 100-watt cab with most amps now. If I'm recording or playing at home or something, I'll just put it downstairs and mic it up, and it sounds incredible.
Yeah, at the shop, whenever we get like a new head, we always plug it into whatever, it's paired with, but I'll plug it into, if we have a 2x12 2-rock cab, plug it into that, because that's like the best sound you could possibly get. I mean, for an open back sort of cab sound. They're oh man, it's so good. It's such a good cabinet. But the pedal board here, a lot of gain.
Good choices all around. Golden Fleece, killer. Zeo, dude, the Zeo doesn't get enough love, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the Zeo for a second. Source Audio is known for being like the DSP heavy company, and they're really good at it. Like they do DSP as well or better than just about anybody. But this is not DSP. This is a fully analog boost pedal. I love mine. I put one on my main board. To me, it's the best sort of all around just boost, because you can switch between that knob on the top right lets you switch between different circuits. So there's like an Echoplex, like EP boost, preamp boost. There's a JFET boost. There's a studio boost, which is emulating, I think, kind of like what the Transformers are doing in like a Neve 1073 kind of thing. And then you got a 3-way toggle that lets you, make it bright, medium, or dark. It's just a great, really versatile boost pedal. The only thing I don't like about it is for some reason there's a switch on it that will let you change the foot switch action to mute it, because there's a tuner out on it, which is a weird choice. And it has happened to me where it's like gotten, in the case, if a cable's moving around or something, it flips that switch and you go to step on your boost and just cuts your signal.
Oh, is it like a little slide switch or something on the side?
It's just a toggle on top.
On the
it's
top.
that left or the right toggle, I think. Otherwise, it's fantastic. I think it's one of the best pedals that they make, and people don't really talk about it enough, because I think they see Source Audio and they think, oh, it's a digital like DSP thing, and it's not. It's analog. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So Steven's in the chat, and he said he uses that to balance the output of his lower output guitars, so they all have the same.
Perfect.
Which
for
is
that.
cool.
Yeah. Lightspeed, great choice. I mean, all these gain pedals are really good choices. There's just too many of them.
Well, I kind of get, like, if you got a cover gig, because if you're just using the boost as a balancing effect, then you have your Lightspeed, which is, a bit more even. Your Shanks, which is a bit more bass heavy, the Mjolnir a bit more mid forward, and then the Fleece is your fuzz. So I get it, and he might be stacking some of this stuff. The G3S Atom, I had one of those, and I didn't find that it had enough loops for what I wanted to do. But if he's running certain things through that and then using the MIDI to control like the HX1, then there's a lot of flexibility there. And I don't know if the Cloudburst can that do MIDI?
It does do MIDI. It's like the 1/8 inch MIDI jack. So you have to have an adapter, but yeah. I would drop the Shanks here, because not that I don't like it. I just think it's redundant. And I think the Lightspeed and the Klon are a really great combination. And with the Golden Fleece too. I think that would give you all the gain, and with the amp itself, because the Vintage Lux does some gain options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I dropped the Shanks. There's also some redundancy here in the delays. The Benson delay is fantastic. That's one of my favorite delays ever. Carbon Copy is a classic. I don't think you need both here, especially because you got the HX1, which can do just about anything.
He says he's using the Carbon Copy as a dedicated slap. So,
Yeah. I mean, I can see that, because like the Benson, you have to dial in the settings. There's no presets and stuff. But again, having the HX1 there, I don't know. I just think it's a little redundant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awkwardly placed on the board. So I think you could just drop
it. Might all be with the switcher.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of flexibility here. Well, I mean, honestly, with the Polytune, you could probably ditch that. Because the G3S has a tuner in it.
No. I still think you should drop the Carbon Copy, because the right foot switch on the HX1 can either be a tap tempo, or it can be that, what do they call it, the flux thing, which is really cool. I thought that was kind of a gimmick, but then on mine, I actually use it on a few presets. So for example, like a rotary effect, like a Leslie, you can have it be the fast, slow setting, or with a delay, you can have it set to like a short repeat kind of fast fast repeat, short feedback, and then you hit the button and it'll ramp up to like an oscillating feedback thing and then come back down. And where that carbon copy is, I think it's a little too close to that right foot switch. I would ditch the carbon copy.
So what are we going to rate this? We're going to have to hurry up
we're gonna have
and
to
get these things.
Well, I kind of feel like with this episode we can deep dive a little bit. Yeah, we can stretch a little bit. Okay. I like the DGT. Not a huge PRS fan, but I'm not going to deduct points. I think it's probably the best of the core models. Tele, great choice, can't go wrong. Love the amp. And I really like the pedal board. I think you could simplify. I'm going to give this 8.7.
Okay. I'm going to give this a solid 9. I think there's a lot of sonic ground you can cover. I don't know if I would change anything, honestly. As long as the HX1 and the Cloudburst have some MIDI plug-in with the G3S, then I don't know. It's like, what can't you do with this board except super high gain? And that's not the gig. So,
and that's one of those Temple Audio boards, which I really like because they've got all the I/O options. Yeah. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, dog. Look at the ends. Look at the cheeks.
Oh, I see the handles now. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at them
and
cheeks.
He's got the that's what they're called. He's got the cable on the side there.
Okay.
Hold on. Is that really what Temple Audio calls them?
Well, I don't know if that's what Temple Audio calls them, but on
Pick
my
your cheek color.
on my shill this week, which is you'll see, they are called cheeks because the builder messaged me and asked me what I wanted for the.
Hey man, what kind of
I want
Now
for
you're
them
making me
cheeks.
second guess myself, Addison. Hold on, don't.
Hey, listen, I was curious. I'm not saying
I'm not
saying
going to
you're
look it
wrong.
up. I'm gonna stick with my
So,
answer.
All right.
I don't know if he's in the chat. Normally he's here hanging out, but the next rig here, we got a twofer. So let me load up these pictures.
You know, it'd be fun too if you're watching on YouTube. Rate in the comments. List out rig 1 and your rating, and then you guys can argue about it.
So Rob F, we did this rig.
Oh yeah, I
in
remember
December
this
of
rig.
2012 or 2022. So this was 1 year in to Guitar Journey.
I like this.
We gave it 5 shoils,
Yep, I remember.
but Rob submitted a new rig.
This is good. I'm excited to see Rob's progress here. Whoa.
So we got some more stuff. Some of the same stuff. Some more stuff. Let me find his email here. So this is his.
Oh, Rob's in the chat. Hell yeah, Rob.
His new TPS style wet dry rig. All right. 3.5 years playing guitar. He's inspired by the Brutus Invasion, 60s garage punk. And so we've got some guitars. We've got an Affinity Strat, a Bullet Mustang, and then a 50 standard Epiphone Les Paul. And all of those have upgraded pickups from Dylan McKerchie? I don't know.
All right.
And then he's got a dry board and I guess a wet board. So
It's a wet board, man.
dang. Dry board, we've got 3 Series Fuzz, Polytune, Morning Glory, Tumnus, P-Split, and the Joyo Tweety. The formatting on this email is a little funky here. I think that's going into the...
Rob says Dylan talks tone. Those pickups. Dylan talks tone.
Oh, okay.
It's his business. There you go.
I didn't know Dylan's
I didn't know Dylan's
name.
last name.
Yeah.
So I met Dylan. I typically don't ask people's last names when I meet them.
Right. Yeah, I don't want to know. Don't even give me an initial or nothing. It's going to cloud my brain. I think that goes into an orange dark micro terror. And then the next one that has the Equator number 1, I don't know, Tidewater trim, flashback, Omni reverb, a Ditto stereo, and then, oh my God, this is so complicated. I don't even know how to wire a wet dry rig. But basically, we got 2 hybrid 20-watt amps, and then all this other stuff. So what do we think? You know, we gave him a 5.
Okay. We're gonna have to break this down. So let's start with the guitars.
Yeah.
The Squiers, they're cool. The Bullet Strats, you know, I like the big headstock. I think that's cool on that thing.
Honestly, I feel like the Bullet Mustang is a massive improvement over a normal Mustang.
Oh, no.
Here's my
no,
hot
no,
take.
No.
The Mustang bridge is one of the worst designed guitar bridges to have ever existed, and a normal Mustang kind of sucks. There, I said it.
No,
Take
dude.
that, internet.
I don't entirely disagree about the bridge design, but a Mustang, a normal Mustang, is one of the most underrated guitars, period. They're
Wimpy
small.
pickups, switches in a stupid place.
Dude, they're single
Bridge
coils.
sucks.
They're the same kind of single coils that are in a Strat.
It's a different pickup.
But okay. I bought one. Mine's MIJ from 2005. It's one of my favorite guitars. It's incredibly comfortable to play because it's not quite 3/4 scale. The vintage ones, the real vintage ones, are like small. They're like real student model guitars. But this one's a little. I think it's a 20.
They might be 20
inch scale.
Oh, Rob says that one's 24-inch scale, which is
Okay.
probably what it is.
Incredibly comfortable to play. The pickups are fantastic. You can go into the out of phase position and with the switching and everything. They're great. Don't listen to Zach. Okay,
I don't like it.
Listen to me.
I've had one. I think they're just like, bleh.
Oh, they're so good, dude. They're so.
I think
good.
they look cool.
They sound fucking amazing, man.
I don't know. They have a sound.
And it's a good
But
one.
this one's got P90, so it's already like.
This is not a Mustang. This is its own. This
So
is a
much better.
P90 guitar in a Mustang mask. But listen, they're great. Okay, Epi Les Paul. Which Les Paul is this again?
It's a 50 standard. It looks
Okay,
like he's
cool.
got the Peter Green sort of situation going.
Yeah, cool.
So into that.
Okay, I feel like we should have an episode with TPS, and we need to talk to Dan and Mick about all of this wet, dry, wet nonsense that they're pushing over there. Because this is what happens. Okay, you get a new player that gets into guitar because of the internet, and they learn like we all do, and they jump in, and in a year to 3 years worth of playing, they think they need to build a wet, dry, wet rig. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Rob, you're here in the chat. If you're having fun building this rig and messing around with it and working out all the bugs and the kinks, then by all means. I think this is massively overcomplicated. It's a whole hell of a lot, man. So what's going on in that rack thing?
Back here? I think
can't
that's
quite
where
see
all
that.
the amps are living.
Okay.
So they're little 20 watt hybrid tube preamp.
The same
power
ones that he had
solid
last
state.
year.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
With the
And I
little
don't hate the
JHS
little
black
rack
boxes.
mount. Yeah, put them in the rack. That's cool. I think the rack's in the wrong place. I think we put the rack on top of the cabinets.
Oh yeah. And these
So
are 2x12 cabs, I believe. Probably
That's
with
right.
like
I remember that.
offset. And I love this. I mean, like, honestly, if you just ditch all this stuff down here, ditch all like the amps and this pedal board, just put like a reverb on this little mini pedal board, and then get you a good amp, set it on top of that. Everything else is A-okay.
Yeah. Yes. So, Rob, I really appreciate the effort. You've clearly done a lot of research. You've clearly learned a lot about signal flow, because if you have successfully built a wet, dry, wet rig that passes signal, you've learned a lot.
Like, does it have a ground loop?
Yeah, it doesn't have a ground loop. That's great. I just think this is way too complicated, man. I'm with Zach. I think we. Zach says if you change this whole thing, it's great.
Yeah, I get it. I think it's just a lot. And I think in the early days, like, this is fun. And I'm sure this is like a really fun way to like explore like what you can or want to do with a guitar. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. But I think for all that this is, you could probably ditch a lot of it, get a really good pair of headphones, get an HX Stomp, and do all the wacky stereo stuff in here and have that exploratory part of your journey in a bit more compact of a way, and then have a really great, straightforward guitar rig. Because honestly, if you took some of this stuff and sold it, you'd have enough money to get probably a pretty cool tube amp. So
We're on
I don't know.
you and I are on the same page. We're in the same chapter on different pages, I think.
Yeah.
I was about to say Rob needs a quad Cortex, because clearly Rob is into signal flow and like trying all kinds of different things. And that's fantastic. This I think is the wrong way to go about it. I think you get a quad Cortex or hell, even an AxeFX 3. Obviously, he's shown the proficiency to get into really complex workflows, and there are a few workflows that are more complex than an AxeFX 3. And in terms of DSP and signal processing, I mean, nothing really is more powerful than the Fractal stuff, and it genuinely does sound amazing. Same thing with the quad Cortex. I think you keep a few of the pedals because they'll integrate well with the modelers. I think you keep one of the cabs maybe, and maybe we look at some kind of power amp solution for one of the cabs. And then I think you get a flagship modeler. Don't go HX Stomp. Don't go anything. Get like one of the big boy quad Cortex, AxeFX, something that'll let you, the big Helix, something that will let you do all kinds of wacky signal flow stuff, and then just go to town. Have fun.
Well, so what is Rob F getting on rig number 2? Are we going to break his heart and give him another 5? Or are we going to go? Where are we going?
I got to go 5 again. Rob, I'm sorry.
I think for what you're trying to do, you're doing a great job. It's a no for me, dog, but I think I'm going to give this, for what it is, I'm going to give this a solid 6.
Okay. So, all right. So 5.5.
Yeah, there you
Average. There you go. I agree. A for effort, Rob. I appreciate the dedication. I'm being serious. I appreciate, like, you've clearly done some research. I just wish Dan and Mick would stop pushing the wet, dry, wet thing so much. Like,
man, they're pushing it hard.
God, they're pushing it.
You can't break my heart, says Rob. So, okay. Well, that's
thanks,
good.
Buddy.
Well,
good.
We're going to stay on another Rob trend. So we got Rob B's rig here.
Nice.
Little slight different, change of pace, but,
Hold on. Before we jump in, can we zoom into the top of that volume pedal there?
Oh.
Get a little enhanced. Look at that.
Let's see. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Look at that.
Dude.
You know what I saw that oh, look, there's some feet. I saw this. It's the clock tower from Back to the Future, Hill Valley, 1955.
That's sick.
I love it.
Okay. Before you read it, question: is he running into that hi-fi amp? Because if he is,
I don't think. I mean, it's got HX Stomp down here. So let's
maybe try that. That might be kind of sick.
That might be neat. And Rob, you get bonus points because your email is so concise. 64 reissue 335. A modded, that's a Brad Paisley with Joe Barden pickups, 3 pickup sort of Nashville thing. Cool. A Novo Serus JS discontinued model with a TV Jones Powertron in the bridge.
Sick.
Then we've got a Shure wireless receiver, the Mjolnir, the 1N34A Mjolnir, a 1981 DRV, the HX Stomp, and then the MC3, what are those called?
Morningstar. Like MIDI controller things.
MIDI controller. The Dunlop MIDI, that's his volume/expression, and then the Canvas DI. He plays on Broadway, Nashville, with a variety of groups, country, alternative, classic rock, and some church gigs sprinkled here and there.
Okay, all right. So
I like it.
Okay, I'm glad he put that in there because the first thing I was about to say was, Rob, why do you need a wireless rig? Let's be real. But if you're playing on Broadway, you are in entertainment and you're moving around on stage a lot. So carry on with the wireless
like
rig.
this like setup. If you have like your receiver already, like there's a receiver on the strap of the Novo.
No, I get it.
Bam.
I'm pretty much very anti wireless rig for 95% of players, except for players like Rob that actually like need it. They need to move around on stage. You need to be like high energy, all that kind of stuff for sure. Okay, dude, guitar setup is dialed here.
Yeah. What couldn't you do with this? I mean, you got your Tele and Strat sounds in that Brad Paisley 335, best humbucker guitar ever, and then the Novo.
Yeah, did you say best humbucker guitar ever? 335.
Well, I mean, honestly, probably like I love my Les Pauls, but when it comes right down to it,
I might agree with you.
I think 335. The best Les Paul ever made is the ES 335.
I think you're right. It's a burst killer.
Yeah,
I mean they are.
All the vintage ones I've played. I'm gonna say something. I think every vintage 335 I've played, every golden era, so long as it was in working like order, is better than every burst I've ever played.
I'm going to agree with you only because I think you're right. I haven't actually played enough Golden Arrow 335s to have an informed opinion on that. But I think I would agree with you. The 335 is maybe the best Gibson ever made.
It's awesome. And definitely one of the prettiest. But anyway.
Especially in the black. The black with black pickguard and the nickel hardware.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
The block inlay is classic.
Classic.
Sort of Clapton look, just blacked out.
Yep.
This Novo, the JS is cool because what the JS has is the Schroeder wraparound tailpiece. And this model's discontinued now. He's got the TV Jones Powertron in a P90 mount, which is cool. So you have your P90 neck, Filtertron bridge. And then one thing, Matthew and I were looking through all these rigs. It's got a little blackout thing over here.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, they don't do that very often. So I'm not sure when this one was made, but cool guitar.
I'm into this. I like the guitar setup. Modified the Brad Paisley because the Paisley doesn't come Nashville Tele setup, right? Doesn't have the single coil in the middle, or does it?
No, I think that one is. It's either. I think it might be a Tele or it might be an Esquire. I can't remember. It's probably got a swimming pool route, maybe.
Yeah, but I was going to ask, like, did he have it routed, or does Fender pre-route the Paisleys? I don't know.
I don't know.
Cool addition with the hot rails, though. I mean,
those are Joe Barden's, which are kind of. He's like, I mean, that's the Nashville. That's the Danny Gatton thing. That's like the Tele thing. Really cool.
Okay. All right. This to me is the most, in terms of modern Nashville, this is very, very, very Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
Small rig, DI solution, 3 slamming guitars. It's like everything he needs and nothing he doesn't need. It's like the bare minimum to get the sounds reliably every single night. It's going to work. It's easy to travel with. Obviously, like the size of that board, he could pare down to 1 or 2 of those guitars, throw the board in his suitcase, catch a plane somewhere. Like this is a working man's guitar.
Pedalboard in one side of the
exactly.
bag, and then there's your whole rig.
I actually used to travel like that. If we were doing like a quick one-off somewhere, I would take my mono dual bag and travel with just one guitar and take a risk, and then use the front compartment to pack my clothes and all my toiletries in. Just take one bag. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Rig, pedalboard, great. No, perfect.
Easy.
No notes. Easy. Look how well all that stuff fits on there too. My God,
it's tight. A Metro 16 pedal train.
It's an Instagram worthy board right there.
That's right. Well, I don't think does Instagram reward pedalboard posts anymore. I don't think they do.
I don't know. I haven't seen any board posts on Instagram recently. The only question I have is that DI, the Canvas DI. I've not used one of those. I like the pinstripe stuff.
Yeah.
Like the DISO Plus or DISO Plus. I never understand how to say that. But looking at the size, I don't think that pinstripe would fit on that board like that Canvas does. So
yeah.
Wow.
It's cute.
Yeah.
So he doesn't mention anything about an amp, but if he's a Nashville gigging guy, I'm sure he's got an amp somewhere. So
yeah, he's probably got a Deluxe or a Hot Rod DeVille somewhere.
Yeah.
I like this rig, man. This is dialed. This is this guy's a pro. 10. I'm giving it a 10.
Oh, snap.
This may be the first ampless rig I've ever given a 10, but knowing what he does, like, this thing is dialed. I haven't heard Rob play, but I would guess he rips.
Yeah, I feel like rig. If this is all you got, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah, probably pretty good.
I'm going to give it a 10 too, just because of that Hill Valley Save the Clock Tower.
Hell yeah. Well, and the LOVE thing, that's Lego.
That's Lego. Yeah. Man, love Lego.
Love Lego.
Okay.
Literally.
So, oh yeah. God.
There he is. Got him.
I picked this one for Rhett for one reason and one reason alone. And
this is either going to be a good thing or
no, you're going to love it.
Okay.
Because you're not going to see it at first, but here you go. Oh, 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 oh. Who's a good boy? Right there.
Oh, he's a good boy. Wow. For our listeners, there's a dog in the
Dog in his crate, just hanging out, being subjected to the rock of Daniel K's rig.
Daniel. Okay.
So, Dan here, this is, he plays church gigs, and he's a fill-in for local blues country rock bands. And this is his setup. So he's got a 58 335 reissue. There we go.
Long guard.
Oh man, it's got a giraffe femur bone nut. It's legal, I swear, he says. Dang.
What? That sounds illegal, man. I wouldn't be telling people that.
Yeah, where do you get that? Do you just go down to the local zoo and be like, hey, you know, many animals died recently?
He and his dad go on safari once a year.
No.
They do a little big game hunting out there.
Non-reverse Firebird in Pelham Blue. It's handsome. And then his Partscaster Tele here, 2000-something's Partscaster Tele, which I love the body on this thing and the headstock. Everything about it cracks me up. We'll zoom in on that in a second. He's got the, let's see, JHS Solo Boost, little Solo Cup Boost, the Morning Glory, the DRV, yet again, there it is, the Sick-As Overdrive, the Plethora X3, a DD200, and a Flint, and a Boss IR2, and then his amp is a rehoused Pro Junior in a 2x10 cabinet. Pretty cool. But man, this Tele,
yeah,
when I first saw it, I was like, man,
enhance that Tele.
That shape is just
something
wrong with it.
Something's weird about it.
It's for everyone listening at home. Imagine you were looking at a Telecaster, and then you put it in Photoshop and just started stretching and erasing parts of it, and that's kind of what this one looks like. It's like close, but it's like someone who's really looked at a lot of Telecasters and then drew a picture of it.
It's like, it's like someone took a picture of a Telecaster and then put it in Photoshop and didn't know how to cut it out. So they used a bunch of the lines to outline the Tele.
They were really bad with the selection tool.
Exactly.
Ended up with this.
And the more I look at it, the worse it's getting.
Isn't that funny? Like, the cutaway is wacky. I mean, I'm sure it plays great. And at the end of the day, if it gets the job done, it gets the job done. Who cares? But, like, where the flat bit where the jack cup is like way flat.
Look at the, so the bottom cutout. Right? Like where it would sit on your leg.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
This is like looking at panel gaps on Teslas. Follow the pick guard. If we're assuming that that's like a normal Tele pick guard, and just, yeah,
it gets right about here, and the waist is not the same.
Someone got a little happy with the belt sander.
But, you know, this is probably like an aftermarket body paired up with a real, like, normal Telecaster pick guard. And sometimes this is what you get, you know.
Need brass saddles on that Tele.
Are those steel? It's hard to tell.
No, those are steel.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Dang
yes. The difference between steel and brass is easy to tell by looking at it.
But it might be.
You can tell because of the way that it is.
Because look at the nickel on these pickup covers. I mean, like.
Well, yes, but there's a difference between nickel and brass.
I know, but like the color, like that, I feel like that looks a little warm, maybe because of the light in the room. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay, can we go back to the 335? He said that was giraffe femur bone
on the nut.
I'm deducting points for that. that doesn't. Don't. I wouldn't say that. Most of the time you get a bone nut, it's from like a cow, right? It's like bovine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I mean, like, you know, I'm sure it's an ethically sourced giraffe bone.
Okay.
But
sure.
Right?
Would you bet money on that, Zach?
I don't know how else one would. I feel like if you did not ethically source your giraffe bone nut, you wouldn't be advertising it to the world on the internet.
What's the over-under on Daniel knowing whether or not his giraffe bone femur nut was sourced ethically or not?
If there was something mounted on the wall, I would probably be like, he got that bone himself. But I think Daniel got that ethically. But I want to say something. I think vintage Gibsons, you should keep your nylon nut. Don't get rid of that nylon nut. Leave it. Works fine.
If you're going to replace it, just at least do something I don't
Jonathan
know.
said he's a chill dude. Trust.
Nice, chill. No. He's cool, dude. He's cool. Don't worry about him. Oh man. Okay, and then the Firebird's the wrong way around. But otherwise, it's I love Firebirds. Just that. Okay. I feel like I'm
funny
picking
on
on
that
Daniel.
bridge. Does that bridge look funny? Looks like it's got.
There's a lot of stuff in this that looks funny.
Looks like there's like a solder blob on that. What is that?
Oh, that does look
See
weird.
that? What's that?
What year is that Firebird from?
Daniel. He says it's 2015.
Okay, so that might be some weird Henry J era shit that they were doing for.
Oh,
some
it's a
period of time.
Japanese market exclusive. So maybe it's got some.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh no, I think it's just a Nashville bridge, and it's just got a little wear, and how it's reflecting light makes it look bulbous.
Got it.
People listening, you got to get on YouTube. And see
Yeah,
this
you guys
one, 'cause
get. I'm sorry. There's no hope for you this episode. I just can't. I can't get on with the. Is this? I can't ever remember this. Is this the reverse Firebird? Non-reverse Firebird.
This is non-reverse. It's the headstock that really is the thing that determines the reverseness.
I have the right way round Firebird, and I love it. I think it's one of the best looking guitars ever. The wrong way round Firebird looks wrong. Because it's not actually like the name of the guitar would make you think that they just took the regular Firebird and just flipped it. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. It's a different shape, and this shape isn't as good.
I like them, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. It feels like this thing has no body contours. It looks like a Tele body or something.
Remember Gumby?
Oh yeah.
It's a Gumby looking.
It's a dear friend of mine.
What?
Nothing.
I only heard he's a dear friend of mine.
Nothing.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's see this board.
Okay, so we got all this stuff. Ka-chow. There's a lot here. I mean, I guess if you're doing church gigs and you need the plethora and probably that DD200 to really cover a lot of ground.
Are the cable end plugs made with white rhino horn or something?
I think those are square
Endangered.
plugs. Those look like square plugs. So
Okay.
those are definitely ethically sourced.
I've actually never played the solo boost. Is it? I imagine it's pretty straight ahead, like just a good little boost.
It's a boost, and there's a button on the side. Addison knows probably, right?
God, it's
Addison.
fantastic. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Fet boosts are great. I'm a big fan of Fet boosts.
Big fat guy, huh?
Big fat guy.
Nice.
Got a Fet option.
Morning Glory's great. 1981 DRV, great. Okay, you remember when would this have been? 2016. Remember when the Sick As had like a real moment? It was one of those effects, one of those pieces of gear where it's like you're not a hip guitarist unless you have one of these. And I feel like the Sick As had that moment maybe about 10 years ago.
Yeah. I've played them. It's not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite Klon style circuit because I believe that's what it is. But to each their own tone. He's done really well to like doing all the limited colorways and stuff, and I like the branding on it. But it is, I don't know. I feel like it was one of those that was super hot for a good while.
Yeah. And then this Boss, this line of Boss pedals, I feel like doesn't really. We don't see a lot of this stuff. Whatever this line is,
the 200 series, because it's basically like the follow up to the 20, like the DD20 and all that stuff, which were so Boss. They had the rubber foot switches and stuff, and they were great. But I've played a lot of these, and they sound like really good. But you're right; they never got their moment in the sun. I think because there was so much stuff coming out at that time.
Yeah,
with Strymon and Eventide and all that. It just kind of got overshadowed. But now Boss has like moved on.
I never have played one. I imagine they're probably pretty good. Most everything Boss does is pretty good. So maybe these are like a good deal if you're looking for something.
I'm sure it is. I mean, my shill today is Boss, and we'll talk about it. So
Plethora X3, solid. I had an X5 when they first came out. It was okay. Kind kind of middle of the road. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it. It was fine. Flint, classic. Can't go wrong. The Boss IR is interesting to me because what is he using for amp emulation here?
Well, I mean that is an amp that has amp emulation.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I've never played one, so
yeah.
Okay, so he's got kind of a DI solution there
here too. Yeah,
got it. Pro Junior, I like that it's rehoused.
Yeah,
little 210 combo. That's pretty sick. Okay,
yeah.
I got to deduct points for the giraffe leg. It's just obnoxious. I'm sorry. It's just, you didn't need to tell us that it was giraffe femur. That's my hang up. You could have just said bone nut.
And honestly, you could have got like someone could have said like, "Yo, this is straight giraffe femur," and you were like,
"That's what I'm saying." Like, how do you
how
know?
do you test
that?
Did
you have it genetically tested?
You got your
Where
little
did it come
homebrew,
from?
and you're just like just shaking it.
Or did you harvest it yourself? In which case, I have even more questions because there's not a good angle here with the giraffe bone. So,
okay,
Jesus Christ, 7 flat for me. I like the rig. I like the pedal board. I like the 335. The Tele's goofy, but it's cool. Firebird the wrong way around, but it is a Firebird, and I like the rehoused amp.
I'm gonna give it 7-1 because that dog in the crate there, he's looking sweet. All right,
oh my God.
We're about 57 minutes into this, so maybe we do a shill.
Let's do a shill,
and then we continue some of this in the bonus. And everybody, if you want to see what more shade we throw, you got to hit us up over on Patreon. But you have a shill.
I got a shill.
And I have a shill.
You go first, because I went first last week, I think.
Okay. Like I mentioned, I got something Boss. Our friend Phil, 40 Watt Podcast, came by the shop, and I traded him a pedal for one of these, the Boss DM101. I have the RE202.
Yep.
And great. I really like it, but honestly, I can't remember how to use the damn thing because it's got so much stuff on it. And this is way easier. All analog. Well, I mean, the delays are all analog, but this thing sounds really good.
I've not played that yet. It looks super rad.
This enclosure
is so good.
Might be the coolest thing Boss has made.
Well, that's the throwback to their one of their OG enclosures, right? Like the early stuff.
Yeah, it looks kind of like the original chorus ensemble and that sort of stuff. And the fonts that they use, dude. I mean, God, it's just so good.
Oh, remember when that guy said "Boss sucks"? Yeah,
I'm still thinking about it.
I do too. It just makes me so mad. Yeah, that whole line of stuff. They do the 202. They do that one. Is there anything else they've come out with in that line? I imagine they'll probably do some more stuff.
Yeah, I feel like they will. I feel like they have to because I don't know. I don't know how well these are doing from a sales standpoint. I'm sure the Space Echo has done really well, but I don't know. I feel like they need to do a modulation one. If they do like a analog chorus and everything, all us small pedal builders are going to be like.
That's a cast enclosure, right? That's how they have to make that.
It is.
Yeah, chonky. It's got some weight in it.
There we go. Yeah, it's got a metal thing on the back that adds some sympathetic notes. But yeah, it's a really heavy thing, and all these push buttons or the foot switches are soft.
Really nice.
So some of them you can hold, and they'll do different things.
Yeah. You're what you call a knob per function guy. I've realized. You are. You like effects and stuff where it's like this knob does this thing, and this knob does this thing. And this one does this one. You don't want to do a lot of menu diving, and if you hold shift and then twist this, it has this function. You're a knob per function dude.
I have too much stuff. Like I said before, I got too much stuff floating around in my head. So to learn that, I have never once on any Strymon pedal I've ever owned used a secondary function that it does.
Yeah, I can't say
because I don't remember what they do.
Yeah, and I got to get the manual out, and I got to read it, and all this. And no time for that. All right, my shill, I have not even unwrapped yet. It just came in the mail. It's heavy.
It'll fall.
And I'm so excited about this. So EchoFix got in touch from Australia and sent me the Chorus Echo.
Oh,
The EFX3. Dude, this thing, let me tell you something. So, a few months ago, I played on an album for my friend Tyler Lyle, his solo album. Tyler's band is called The Midnight. They're great. They're fantastic. And he's doing a solo record. It's also great and fantastic. Tyler has one of these, and he brought it in to the studio, and we put it on everything. It was like Frank's Red Hot. And it's a tape echo with chorus and individual outputs for the different tape heads. So you can get wild with this thing. Like I said, obviously I haven't played this one yet. I just unboxed it. It does sound on sound looping. It's got one of the best sounding chorus circuits I think ever made. It's expensive. Most people don't need this. This is not something you should go out and buy. This is for uber nerds like me that like using this kind of shit. But
it's like a Space Echo, right?
Yeah, basically. So, in fact, let's just unbox it. Unwrap it, and I'll take the top off, and I'll show you.
Oh, gosh.
And I did not keep the box because I'm never selling this thing. So,
I'm really bad about keeping boxes. I have a bunch of Boba Fett helmets.
Wait, I don't think I knew this.
Morgan gave, or just Mandalorian helmets, I should say. And Morgan gave one of the boxes to Graham, and he destroyed it, and I was really upset.
There are certain things that you like. My basement is full of boxes, but it's like I can't get rid of that box because it's made for that thing. And then if I ever did need to sell that thing, I can't get rid of it.
I have this one too. I got this guy hanging out.
Yeah, if you ever got rid of that, how are you gonna box that up and ship it somewhere? You can't.
It's a Darth Vader helmet for those listening.
All right, let's take the lid off here. Yeah, EchoFix is super cool. They sent me some of their pedals as well. One of them I can't show yet, but they have a spring reverb, which is an actual spring tank. And I don't know if I can show the other two, but anyways, oh man.
I like when you can hear the sound of real metal being moved. I can tell with your hands that was real metal.
Look at that.
The tape's just floating around in there.
Yeah, dude, just snakes around. That's how that works. Man. It's just a loop, and it just snakes around in that little area. It's fantastic, man.
So now you have to compare your Benson to this.
I'm planning a video on tape echo because I now have a pretty substantial tape echo collection. I've got a real 201 that my wife bought me because my wife kicks ass. My first tape echo is the Multivox Multi Echo. I have the Benson Echo Rec, which is not a tape echo; it's a wire echo, a drum echo. And then now I have the EchoFix. So, I think I'm going to do one of my deep dive episodes on this effect because now there's so many different ways to do tape echo in the digital DSP world that I think it's cool to have a sort of reference of what the real thing, quote unquote, sounds like. And part of the reason I'm not saying you shouldn't buy this. If you are into this kind of thing, you should buy this. But this is not what I would call practical. No. You have to maintain them. You have to clean the heads. You have to replace the tapes. Luckily now there are companies manufacturing tapes, and part of what comes with this when you buy it, because EchoFix, they're building these brand new from scratch, which is super cool. They send you a little care kit with cleaning materials and a few extra tape loops and stuff. But these are machines with motors and all kinds of stuff that wears out. And in so many other ways, using a digital tape delay is better. But I mean, dude.
Man, I'm gonna break your heart. I had the opportunity years ago to buy a WEM copycat.
Oh, that's on my list, man.
$300.
Oh my god.
And it worked just fine, and I didn't buy it because I'm stupid.
Yeah. I've always said I'm not a collector, and then now I'm realizing there are a few things that I collect.
It's fine. You're not. You're just getting started.
Fuzz pedals, tape echoes, tape machines. I have 6 tape machines now. Yeah, dude. So anyways, thank you to EchoFix. They did send this to me for free. This is a shill. I did not pay for this. So, but as per usual, like they didn't ask for anything. But yeah, and these are the cheeks, man. I spec'd wood cheeks. Okay, they asked. All right,
Man,
you could do wood.
Nice looking cheeks right
You
there.
could do
Beautiful
walnut,
cheeks.
or you could do white color match. And I said, you know what? I got walnut in my studio. Let's do walnut. I got to have walnut cheeks.
give me them walnut cheeks, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's jump to the bonus.
Okay. I
thanks,
need to check
everyone.
on Matthew.
Thanks everyone for hanging out. Join the Patreon
Yeah.
so you can come listen to the bonus episode we're about to go record.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody.
See y'all
you
next
soon.
week.